Hello everyone and welcome back to my 100% races on every F1 game, and today of course we've picked Formula 1 97 and I'm going to pick Brazil because it's my favourite circuit on my favourite game. In fact, 71 torturous laps and the length is 2.68 miles, and we're going to pick, yes, it's Irv the Swerve, Eddie Irvine in the Ferrari for this 100% race. Now I expect there's going to be absolutely no problems with this race whatsoever because this game is pretty darn perfect. We're going to ramp the difficulty right up to expert and we're going to put everything on that we can, even the tear-offs for the visor. Yes, failures are going to be on, damage, weather is going to be variable. Now we're going to see if that affects the race at any point during the 100% race, and everything else is going to be switched on. Now of course if you've played this game before you will know that if you go for shorter sessions the scaling is absolutely perfect, and in fact in a 10 lap race you actually get one pit stop as well. So on 100% I'm expecting it's going to be pretty darn awesome. Anyway, out we go then for our first qualifying run. As always, we're not going to worry about a good qualifying time. In fact, we're not even going to do the whole 1 hour session. We're just going to basically go out for a lap, put our time in and then start the race. At the gorgeous Brazilian circuit, you can see for qualifying it's a little bit overcast. You can see there's clouds up there in the sky, but it isn't raining, so that's good for Eddie Irvine. Let's see what fantastic time he's going to put in. Just look at the graphics, everyone. Just look at the graphics. Of course, this is using the PlayStation, the original PlayStation's high resolution graphics mode. Yes, high resolution graphics. In the previous game, Formula 1, it used the low resolution graphic setting, but in this one they managed to ramp it up and we're using the full capacity, the full power and speed of the PlayStation 1. And thankfully also for this game we have a lap counter. Oh, saints preserve us, you have no idea how difficult that was on the last instalment doing a commentary when there's absolutely no lap counter to tell you how many laps you've done. So thankfully, yes, we have a lap counter for this race. So anyway, just about to complete the first lap for Eddie Irvine. I think he's going to be in pole position because of course no one else has gone out on the circuit yet, but we will see what the end time will be for Mr. Eddie Irvine in this 100% race around the Brazilian circuit. He crosses the line and yes, predictably I think, yes, it's going to be first place. But at the end of qualifying you can see we ended up in 11th place for the race and D. Williams ended up in pole. Here's Murray.
Hello and welcome to the Brazilian Grand Prix 1997 here at the Autodromo José Carlos Pache in Interlagos. The track here has a reputation for being fast, bumpy and difficult, although there are good overtaking opportunities with that long back straight. Usually we see some fine weather here, although 1996 was an exception when Damon Hill dominated the race from start to finish despite the rain.
Thank you, Murray. I hope they've got you holed up in a nuclear bunker somewhere until this nightmare is all over. Anyway, it's time now for the 5 lights to go out on the 100% race from Brazil, and we say go, go, go for Eddie Irvine, and it's away he goes. Very, very cautiously from the start, of course, as we go into turn 1. He's been overtaken already by one of the Ligier cars, or one of the Prost cars, I do believe. Now he's going to get... Oh, no, no, no. Disaster already for Eddie Irvine. The front wing has come off. Don't panic, everyone. Don't panic. It's a very, very long race. Very, very long race. But at the moment, there's disaster on lap 1. Well, in fact, turn 1 of lap 1. Eddie Irvine has lost his front wing. He's down to 15th position. We've got green flags now, which means he's going to have to come in for a very, very early pit stop. Yes, very, very early indeed. Wowzers, mid-trousers. Well, disaster. But as I say, there are no restarts. There are no flashbacks. There is nothing in this game. You make one mistake. Well, I suppose technically you could go back and reload your save and start it all over again, but who on earth is going to do that? Who on earth? That means I'd have to go through qualifying and everything. So this is the great thing about Formula 1 97. You cock it up and it's just, that's it. You just got to run with it. I just wish they had that with the modern games because it's just too easy with flashbacks. You know if you make a mistake you can just flash it back and you're fine again. Anyway, enough of my waffling. After one lap now completed for Eddie Irvine, and he's managed to hold off the cars behind him, it has to be said, but now he's going to come in for his pit stop because he's got no downforce on the front of the car, which really does affect your handling as you go into the corners, especially at this circuit. It's very, very sort of tight and twisty in some of the sections. So in we come now for our pit stop. He's 8 seconds already behind the car now as all the cars go past. Look at that, all the back markers, all those Minardi cars have gone past Eddie Irvine as he comes in for a very, very early stop to get that front wing replaced. Down, of course, to last place now for Eddie Irvine on lap 2. So there you go, new front wing, 25 laps of fuel. We don't put any more fuel into the car because we've got quite enough in it already. Enough to reach quarter distance. So we're going to make one extra pit stop. If it doesn't rain, we're going to make one extra pit stop in this race. We've just made it right there. And so now we're on a 2-stop strategy until the rest of the race. And so now we've got to catch up to the back of the field on lap 2 as we accelerate forward out to lap 4, and we have managed to catch up to a few of the cars. In fact, I think there's a car going slow in front of us. Oh, is it going to get tight? Very, very tight indeed. It's an Arrows. Oh, he has to go off the circuit there to get past the Arrows. Wow, that was an Arrows going very, very slow. I think he had engine problems there. So up into 21st already for Eddie Irvine. We accelerate forward to lap 8, and he's managed to catch up to the back markers. Oh, God. It's the Minardis, everyone. He's 45 seconds, though, behind Michael Schumacher, who's still in the lead of this race at the moment. But he goes to get past both of the Minardi cars, and we've got another Arrows to get past. That could be, of course, Pedro Diniz or Damon Hill. We're not quite sure, but he managed to get past now up into 18th position on lap 8 as we accelerate forward to lap 10. More back markers ahead of us. As you can see, well, this is not really a back marker, but it seems to be. It's one of the Benetton cars up into 17th place now for Eddie Irvine. So that Benetton has had a really tough race already as we accelerate forward to lap 12. 17th position as he goes past one of the Tyrrells up into 16th. That was Mika Salo, was it? Mika Salo? May have been. Anyway, up to 16th place now for Eddie Irvine on lap 13. And you can see in the background that the skies are starting to darken, which means we may be in for some rain. If that happens, this will be great news for us, because as anyone who's played this game will know, you gain about 5 seconds a lap on the AI if it starts to rain. Yes, at least 5 seconds a lap on the AI, so it gives us plenty of time to catch up. As Eddie Irvine's now in 15th position on lap 13. You can see those skies are definitely darkening. Michael Schumacher in the lead. Williams is in second place, of course, Jack Villeneuve. They couldn't actually license his name. As Eddie Irvine still continues on in 15th position on lap 13, chasing the car in front. And I can't see any rain yet, but it is definitely getting a little bit darker. Gerhard Berger's in third place, Fisichella in fourth, Frentzen in fifth, and David Twat Coulthard is in sixth position, of course, in that McLaren car in 1997. So, still chasing for Eddie Irvine, still chasing that car in front. Still in 15th place. This, of course, I think is a Tyrrell. I think it may be a Tyrrell. And he goes past, yes, up into 14th position now. That was Verstappen. Wowzers, Verstappen. Not Maxi Boy Verstappen. No, but his dad. Yes, his dad. Jos Verstappen, who, of course, was a racing driver in 1997. And there's the rain. There is the rain, everyone. You can just see spots of rain on the circuit now on lap 17, so it looks like this is going to rain for the race. This is absolutely great news for Eddie Irvine, who's currently in 14th position now, which means soon it's going to be time to come in for a pit stop. You'll only know when to come in when you see a tiny little spot of rain sort of underneath the tyres, right in the middle. As soon as you see a little white patch, that means it's time to come in for your wet tyres as we accelerate forward now to lap 18. And there are already cars coming in, but I don't know if they're coming in for the wets yet, because it's a little bit too early. I have to say, a little bit too early on lap 19. But he's now 50 seconds behind Michael Schumacher. But he has now made it up into 11th place, and there's a car coming out of the pits. I do believe that was one of the Jordan cars, but he's managed to get past up into 10th position now for Eddie Irvine. Very, very soon it'll be time for our pit stop, as you can see, it's definitely raining even harder now, and it'll be soon time to go onto the wets. There's no, of course, intermediate tyres in this game. Just go from dry tyres to wet tyres. You can go onto monsoon tyres, but I've never ever been able to get them to work on any circuit, despite how much it pisses down. So there you go. And as you can see now, if you just look at the tyres, just look at underneath the tyres, you can see a tiny little spot of white. You see that little spot of white? That means it is time to come in for the wet tyres. As soon as you get that, you come in straight away. Don't leave it too late, otherwise you will be spinning off the circuit as he's trying to negotiate past. I think it's one of the other Tyrrells, or it may be a Stewart car. Of course, the livery was very similar in 1997 for both those cars. And it's very difficult to make out. Anyway, it doesn't matter for Eddie Irvine, because he's going to come in now for his wet pit stop. This is on to the wet tyres for Eddie Irvine. He's currently 38 seconds now behind Michael Schumacher on lap 90. But he's going to gain a huge amount of time with the rain coming down now over the opposition soon. Anyway, so in he comes now. So we change onto wet tyres. We put in more fuel, which should take us to about lap 45, I do believe, and a new front wing as well. I didn't see any contact there, but obviously there's been a few from Eddie Irvine. As we now zoom out the camera, and because it makes you see a little bit better for the viewers at home anyway. Not for me, but for the viewers at home. As he rejoins on lap 20 in 13th position now. As we accelerate forward now to lap 20, still on lap 20, and there's a car, he's just going past one of the Saubers up into 12th position. Is there any other cars coming to the pits? I can't quite see any at the moment. No, so it looks like he's still holding on to 12th place. Now, of course, this is very, very slippery for Eddie Irvine right now. He's got to be very, very careful as he goes over those curves, because they will spin you out like a top if you manage to get over them. Anyway, 52 laps now left of this race. After 20 laps, Michael Schumacher is still in the lead. Berger's in second, Frentzen in third. Jack Villeneuve is in fourth, Fisichella in fifth, and David... Oh, the car got off there. Wowzers, big trousers. I think that was one of the Tyrrell cars. He spun his car and now up in 11th place now for Eddie Irvine. That was very, very close though. Almost went into him. Very, very good reaction times from Earth the Swerve there. Oh, as I say that, Earth the Swerve does a bit of swerving there, trying to gain some traction on this very, very slippery circuit. He's 54 seconds behind Michael Schumacher now. He's right up the Jack Jones of one of the Jordan Peugeot cars. Is he going to get past? This is very, very tight and treacherous, of course, trying to get past these cars in the wet conditions. And just look how much he is trying, and look how much he is sliding the car. He's almost aquaplaning into the corners as he now tries for another move on this Jordan car, but there's no room here, Eddie, no room at all. You have to wait until the straight to see if you can get past, and he's trying desperately to go down the inside. But the moment the Jordan car is hanging on, but now he goes around the outside of him. So yes, up into 10th position now for Eddie Irvine on lap 21. Still looking across to the pit lane to see if any more cars have come in. And at the moment, I would say no, as he now tries for this Prost car to see if he can get past. So Schumacher still in the lead as Eddie Irvine once again does a little sort of slide out there from his Ferrari car. Of course, the Ferrari very, very powerful and not very good in wet conditions, of course, because you can't really put that power down very well compared to some of the lower powered cars further down the grid, like the Minardis, of course. Anyway, that's Oliver's Penis in front of us, everyone. Oliver's Penis currently 9th place, still 54 seconds behind Michael Schumacher on lap 22 at the moment. Let's see if we can get past Oliver's Penis and get up into single figures. Hopefully we will. This is going to be very tight. Freddie over. He's on the curb. No. Yeah, he's okay. 22 laps now completed in this Grand Prix of 72. And you can see that clearly because we now have a lap counter. Thank goodness. Wowzers. Absolute wowzers. I can't believe they forgot to include that in the last game. I really can't. But there you go. Let's see if we can get past. Of course, now they're both bunched up together. Is that a Sauber in front of this Prost? I think it is a Sauber. Now, of course, it's very, very difficult to get past the cars when they're this close together. But we're going to give it a go, or should I say, Eddie Irvine gives it a go as he goes around the outside. Look at the rain now. And we got thunder and lightning and everything going on now. So we accelerate forward out to lap 24 as he goes past two McLarens who are nose to tail, as you can see. So up now to 6th position. We are up into the points, everyone, on lap 24 of this 100% race. Up into 6th position for Eddie Irvine. Oh my goodness. So things are looking good at the moment. Frentzen's done a fastest lap. Yes, Heinz-Harald Frentzen has done a fastest lap as we accelerate forward down to lap 26, and we've managed to catch up to the mobile chicanes themselves. Yes, it's the Minardi cars. We go past the first one and we've now got a Jordan in front of us. This could be for a position. It could be. I'm not quite sure if it is though, but we managed to get past the Jordan car. And it is for position. Up into 5th place now on lap 27 for Eddie Irvine. Michael Schumacher is still leading the race as we accelerate forward now. Oh no, he's binned it on lap 27. Come on Eddie, get it round, back on the circuit. Oh no, he's binned it again. They've got to watch out for these back markers. Both the Minardis there. We've got yellow flag going as well. The Minardi tried to get past Eddie Irvine there, but he managed to hold on to it. So 27 laps completed, and we have our first binnage for Eddie Irvine, and green flags now, so he can resume his pace as we accelerate forward to lap 29, and he's going to come in now for another pit stop for Eddie Irvine. Wowzers, we didn't expect this pit stop, it has to be said. I don't know whether he's got some serious damage to the car. He's still got his front wing on, so I don't know why he's coming now for a pit stop, but anyway, he's got no indication of low fuel, so well, it's up to Eddie really, but he's obviously coming for a reason. So in for the pits on lap 30. Some new wet tyres and some more fuel going to the car as well, and a new front wing. We're going to put in 28 laps of fuel. Wow, that should get us well into the rest of this Grand Prix as we rejoin now in 6th position. You can see Michael Schumacher still in the lead after 29 laps. Gerhard Berger in 2nd, Frentzen in 3rd, Jacques Villeneuve in 4th, Eddie Irvine in 5th, and Giancarlo Fisichella, of course, in that Jordan car in 6th position. Anyway, we accelerate forward out of lap 30 and we just changed the view so you can see this is the very sort of early T-cam view that you can get in this game, and it's absolutely glorious. In fact, all the views are pretty special in this game, and you can see there's the nose cam view on lap 31 as well. This is quite a good view as well. It's a little bit too close to the track though, I have to say, but as I say, all the views, as we're just 2 seconds now behind Giancarlo Fisichella, all the views in this game are pretty special indeed. As we blast past Fisichella, and we're now 1 minute and 6 seconds behind Michael Schumacher. Okay, I think we're going to go to another one of the views now as we accelerate forward out of lap. Oh, Jesus Christ, no, oh, fucking hell. I forgot about that. Oh, get it back on, Eddie, get it back on. That, of course, is the cockpit view, and I forgot that I actually got the tear-offs on, which means that the actual visor was covered in shit. And we almost binned it there because that completely sideswiped me, that did. Anyway, let's pick a straight bit of the circuit. There we go. Now we can go to the cockpit view and look at that, how realistic that is. Look at it. And I couldn't actually remember which button it is to clear the visor. I think I've worked it out. I think it was the circle button there. But as you can see in the beautiful cockpit view, dust and dirt accumulates on your visor, and every so often, every 5 or 6 laps, you just have to wipe it off and away you go again. Fantastic addition to F1 97, and it completely scared the shit out of me. Well done. Lap 32, everyone. Michael Schumacher still in the lead at the moment. And for anyone that's wondering, yes, it does look very much like Virtua Racing on the Sega Mega Drive back in 1993. Don't forget, of course, it was only made a few years later, so, you know, it would do. But yeah, it does look very Virtua Racing, I have to say, the cockpit view. But it's simple, but it's functional. It works. What can I say? It works. It's a cockpit view. And as we just blast past one of the Minardis there once again. And now 1 minute and 4 seconds behind Michael Schumacher. The only trouble with this view, of course, is it does slow you down because you can't see very much. So we've gone back to the T-cam view, as you can see, and we blast past some more cars now up into third position. Cars are now coming into the pits on lap 36, so up into a podium position for Eddie Irvine on lap 36. And Frentzen's put in the fastest lap. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was close. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. I actually hit the view change button. I didn't mean to do that, but that car completely unsighted me in the wet conditions. Of course, that's one thing you have to watch out for. The cars just appear out of nowhere when it's raining. Absolutely nowhere. Oh, no, and he's binned it again. Eddie Irvine has binned it again, and 2 cars have gone past. I'm sure they were Williams cars. Anyway, down to 4th position now. Anyway, it gives us a chance to have a look at the beautiful tail light on the back of the car. Just look at it. Absolutely beautiful. And hopefully we're going to get back against these 2 cars that we've just managed to let through because we were buggering about, basically. So 4th position now for Eddie Irvine on lap 36 out of 72 laps. Yes, 72 torturous laps. And these are indeed Williams, I do believe, in front of us. As we're trying to see. Oh, there's 1 Williams and 1 Benetton car. Of course, the Benetton and the Williams from the rear view also look pretty similar, I have to say, pretty similar. Anyway, up into 3rd position now for Eddie Irvine. Is he going to go for a run on this Benetton? Not at the moment because there's no space, as you can see. Just look at the spray as it comes up. Absolutely fantastic visual effects in F1 97. The spray comes all over you and you just can't see anything. And you can also see that you can't really see the track either because it is so dark now due to the fact that it is absolutely pissing down. Anyway, up into 2nd place now for Eddie Irvine on lap 37. 2nd position, Michael Schumacher still in the lead. 45 seconds now ahead of Eddie Irvine. Berger in 3rd. Jacques Villeneuve in 4th. Frentzen in 5th. As we accelerate forward at lap 48. Just 8 seconds behind now, Michael Schumacher. We got a yellow flag. I don't know what's going on, but we got yellows. Can't quite see anything up the track there. Always a car slowing. It's one of the arrows. I do believe he's got an engine failure. You can't see it on the screen there, but that was definitely an engine failure for that arrows. He was spurting out lots of blue smoke at the back of that car on lap 48. So we accelerate forward out, and there he is, everyone. There he is. It's Michael Schumacher, the race leader, but he comes in for his pit stop. This, of course, is the 2nd of his 2 pit stops. Pretty much spot on for when they make their pit stops on lap 48, and that means that Eddie Irvine goes into the lead on lap 49 of this race out of 72. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, we have been helped, of course, by the wet conditions. We're now 6 seconds ahead of Michael Schumacher as we accelerate forward at lap 49. Still on lap 49, and we've got more back markers ahead of us. I think this may be a Tyrrell, just glancing off to the left hand side. Yes, it is definitely a Tyrrell car. See if we can go down the inside of the Tyrrell at the moment. No, it's not on for Eddie Irvine. So he's going to see if he can go down the inside into this next corner. Let's see if he can. And oh no, the Tyrrell's binned it. The Tyrrell's binned it. Look at that, right in front of us. And there's no space to try and get past. He's got to just wait it out. In fact, well, luckily he's still quite a few seconds ahead of Michael Schumacher, so this isn't going to affect his position. At the moment, you can see 28 seconds now ahead of Michael Schumacher because the AI go really, really slow in the wet conditions. And we gain about 5 seconds a lap, as I said earlier. So we accelerate forward now to lap 54. Lap 54, still trying to get past these cars. Now we've got 3 in a line now, which is basically impossible to get past until you get onto the straights. I think this back car is one of the Williams cars, is it? Or maybe a Benetton? I'm not quite sure, but of course you cannot see because the sprays everywhere. Anyway, while the cars goes into the pits, and there's 2 more, we've got a McLaren in front of us and a Jordan, and we breeze past the outside of both the cars and still, of course, maintain our first place because we're still in the lead of this race, and those were just back markers. We accelerate forward down to lap 57. We've got the low fuel warning light, which means we've got to come in again for another pit stop. But thankfully, we are 51 seconds up the road now against Michael Schumacher. So we've got enough time to come into the pits, come out again, and still be in the lead of this race by at least 20 seconds. At least 20 seconds. So in we come for our last stop now on lap 57. Going to put some more fuel into the car. And of course, some more of those wet tyres as well, because it is still raining very, very hard indeed. So there go the wet tyres and more fuel. This is going to take us to the end of the race. 18 laps, there you go. It's all we need until the end of the race. And a new front wing once again. A new front wing. Yes, we do seem to be going through quite a few front wings in this race. So we rejoin now. You can see the stickers on the tyres to indicate that they are brand new. Of course, they wouldn't actually happen in real life on wet tyres. You wouldn't have stickers stuck to wet tyres. No, definitely not. Because that's not going to help you get grip, is it, really? Anyway, we can give it a few failings in this game. And as you can also see now, it has started to brighten up. So it may be about to stop raining on lap 57. As we accelerate forward down to lap 60, you can see visually now that it is definitely brightening up. And there's not as much spray coming off the tyres. So it may be time to make another pit stop before the end of this race. As we're trying to get past this Arrows car. And we're trying to go around the outside. He's going very, very slowly though. Very, very slowly indeed. But we do manage to get past. Still in the lead, of course, on lap 60. 43 seconds now ahead of Michael Schumacher. Gerhard Berger in 3rd place. And Jack Villeneuve in 4th. Frentzen in 5th positions. We're just about to start another lap of this Grand Prix. And it is definitely getting brighter. But is it going to stay brighter? Or is it going to start rain again? Of course, one of the great things about this game is that sometimes it starts to rain again. As we accelerate forward to lap 63. Lap 63 still in the lead, and as you can also see now, I think there is a little bit more spray appearing, so it may be starting to rain a little bit harder once again. Wowzers, fantastic. This is what you call variable weather to a T, and this was back in 1997, everyone. 1997. Fantastic. As we accelerate forward to lap 67, and you can see that definitely it has started to rain once again. It's gone over really, really dark, and Eddie Irvine's binned it. It's okay, don't panic, don't panic. Oh, as I say that though, he's got contact with the other Jordans. Damage to his wing, but his wing's still on at the moment. Wowzers, wowzers. Just a few more laps left of this Grand Prix, but he is still 1 minute now, 17 seconds ahead of Michael Schumacher. So he's got nothing really to worry about. In fact, he could come in for a pit stop and still get out with plenty of time to spare. So he's just going to sort of crawl around the circuit for these final laps. But in fact, he's got to try and get past these back markers as well, because they're just going to hold him up as the Jordan's trying to get past this Tyrrell. Oh, this is going to be very, very messy. Very, very messy indeed. But we managed to get past, and you can see now that it has gone fully darkened over again. The sun has gone back in. It just creeped out for a moment, but it's gone back in, and now it's pissing down once again. As this is now lap 71, just about to start the last lap of this Grand Prix. Oh my goodness. This has been another marathon. As I say, in the last episode, I did stop every 30 minutes, had a little 2-minute stop for the fingers and then resume. Now thankfully for the fingers, this has analog steering. It doesn't have analog acceleration and braking unfortunately, so you still have to use the X button to accelerate, but it does have analog steering, which means it's a lot more kinder on your little pinkies. On your little pinkies it's a lot more kinder. So this is the final lap of the race. 72 torturous laps at Brazil. Well, in fact, not really torturous because they are pretty short laps, it has to be said. That's one of the reasons I picked Brazil, because it's quite a short lap, and so it didn't actually do too bad to the pinkies. No, it was fine. I mean, I had quite a bit of cramp by lap 72, it has to be said, but it wasn't as bad, I have to say, as the last video on Formula 1 where I was using the D-pad constantly. Anyway, still trying to get past this mobile chicane once again. This is, of course, the Minardi car. What a fantastic livery they had in 1997. Just look at it. Look, it's just a thing of beauty. It really is. Such a shame they don't come up with good ideas like that anymore. But there you go. So just one more corner to go now. Are we going to attempt to get past this Minardi on the line? Possibly not. We might go around the outside. Oh, a little bit wide there for Eddie Irvine. He holds it together. He's just about to cross the line now and win the race, everyone. Yes, win the race in first place. So that's it, the end of the race, and Eddie Irvine is going to cross the line in first position. Fantastic. Let's have a look at the final scores on the doors then. Eddie Irvine won that race in 1 hour and 41 minutes. He was 1 lap ahead of Michael Schumacher and 2 laps behind the rest of the field. I have to say that looks pretty realistic. Unlike the last game, which I think had 6 laps ahead of some of the back markers, I don't think that was quite correct. Anyway, there you go then. Wowzers. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. You've been awesome as always. And coming soon, of course, it's 100% race on F1 98. Oh, shit.